The open sea might seem peaceful, but things can go wrong in an instant. From massive collisions to unbelievable mistakes, these ship disasters show that even a small misstep can lead to a giant catastrophe. Get ready to see the chaos unfold. On April 6, 2020, the container ship Milano Bridge caused a major accident at Busan New Port in South Korea. The ship, operated by Ocean Network Express, failed to slow down while it was trying to dock, which led to it crashing into and completely destroying a gantry crane. The video was perfectly timed and captured the entire thing happening.
Bangga! Bangga to! Bangga! Ay, babangga! Bangga to! Bangga! Malakas hangin! Lakas yan! Ito yung barko, babangga na yan. Kasi yung LC niya, ang bilis ba? Kasi makita ko pilit yung mukha. Bangga! Bangga! Bangga na mo! Grabe yung lakas!
But there were still a lot of questions, because this isn't the type of thing that just happens every day. Investigations by South Korea's Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries ended up finding that the ship was operating with 1/3 of its propeller exposed above the water because of insufficient ballast water, so it just couldn't maneuver like it was supposed to. At the time, the Milano Bridge wasn't carrying any cargo, as it had just left a shipyard in China after repairs. As it entered the port, it was traveling at 8 knots, a lot faster than the usual 6 knots it was supposed to be. The ship first brushed against another vessel, the Seaspan Ganges, before running into the gantry crane. If the propellers were completely underwater and it was going a little bit slower, it would have been just fine. This is proof that the tiniest of mistakes in the water can cause a lot of destruction. On April 7, 2018, in Istanbul's Anadolu Hisar area, the Malta-flagged bulk carrier Vita Spirit was traveling from Egypt to Ukraine. They thought they were just about to get to their destination, but little did they know, the destination had officially changed. The carrier suffered a massive mechanical failure around 4 p.m., and the ship's rudder got stuck. That left the captain totally out of control of where the ship was going, and it began veering off fast. Before they knew it, it had crashed right into the $1 million Hekimbaşı Salih Effendi Mansion. The mansion, an 18th century waterfront structure used for events like weddings, ended up getting severely damaged. You can see its roof and upper floors collapsing entirely.
Oh my god!
Siktir!
Oh my god!
Siktir! Siktir oğlum! Holy shit!
İçinde insanlar yok mu?
Bak!
Anlamıyorum.
Siktir oğlum! Siktir oğlum bütün.
Bir şey söyleyeceğim, biri var mı peki orada?
Siktir mi?
Biri mi? İnsan var mı? Cem ne diyorsun? Oh my god, you guys have to send me this video. I hope there's nobody in the house.
Holy shit!
Why did it be like? Bir şey söyleyeceğim.
Kimin yalısı o?
Oh my god. And it's still going, huh?
Oraya kaçmayın be esas. Vay anasını. Yandaki yalıya girdi ya. Yalıya girdi değil mi?
No one was injured at the venue or the carrier, but the Bosphorus Strait was temporarily closed. Right after it happened, the mansion's owners filed a complaint. They wanted to be compensated for what happened to their property, and for good reason. The owner of the ship ended up being ordered by the court to dish out $34.3 million, and that money is going to be used to get the mansion fully repaired. This was an accident that got progressively worse as time went on. On April 7, 2018, at the Jawaharlal Nehru port near Mumbai, India, the CMA CGM Mumbai, a massive 335-meter-long container ship, was approaching the pier. But the staff there noticed that it was a little faster than it usually would. It even dropped its anchor, hoping that it would give it enough of a drag that the ship would stop, but it didn't. The ship just lost control and kept going directly for the port, and eventually crashed into it.
Stop the
Luckily, there were no injuries reported, and officials said that the damage was minimal, probably the best-case scenario in a situation like this, though the full extent of damage to the vessel is something they didn't really talk about. If the noise is any indication, there was a lot of damage, yet everyone just went back to work, as if this massive ship didn't just crash like it was no big deal, just an average day in India. The Stellar Banner, a 340-meter ore carrier owned by Polaris Shipping, was supposed to be on its way to China. But this ship wasn't really in the best condition and had already suffered significant damage after it ran into the ground in February 2020. The ship, loaded with iron ore from Vale's terminal in Maragnon, started tipping off to one side drastically but didn't capsize. But it was clear that this ship wasn't going to get anywhere near China, so it had to be sunk on purpose before an accident would happen, putting lives in danger. Anyone who's ever seen Titanic has thought how more people didn't make it off the ship when it was so massive. Massive ships should take really long to sink, right? Well, this one ship proves that's far from what happens. It took the ship less than 10 seconds to be fully submerged underwater.
Now she's going quickly.
Jesus Christ, look, it's collapsing.
Ah, shit.
Jesus Christ.
Shit. Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Wow.
Jesus.
She did it.
Oh, the funnel came off.
Oh, it ripped off. Oh, there's a light bulb.
As we'll probably see it.
One of the stacks. The stacks.
Shit, man.
Yeah, what's the time?
9:55.
No,
Yeah,
but
how many minutes?
15 minutes.
15.
15.
Fortunately, all 20 crew members were evacuated safely in time. Salvage teams managed to remove 145,000 metric tons of iron ore and 3,900 cubic meters of bunker fuel before Brazilian authorities decided that the ship was beyond repair. It was declared a total loss, and the ship sank about 150 kilometers from the coast, where it rests forever. On December 9, 2019, at the port of Antwerp, the APL Mexico City, a massive 328-meter container ship, broke free from its moorings. It was just drifting off into the waters, with nothing to stop it. But no one would have guessed how crazy things were about to get. Within the next few minutes, it crashed into a crane and completely destroyed it. The accident happened around 1:45 p.m. at the Durgank dock, located on the left bank of the Scheldt River. force of the collision caused the crane to collapse into the water, but luckily, no one was injured. No one really knows why the ship started drifting in the first place. Even though they tried to get it back under control until 8 p.m. that day, it just kept going. The entire area had to be evacuated so no one would get hurt. Tugboats were needed, and port staff worked late into the evening to make sure that everyone was safe. This was the last they ever saw of that crane. But after extensive repairs, the ship ended up getting back out there. The Dent Rapids, also called the Devil's Hole, are some of the wildest waters in British Columbia, near Vancouver Island. These rapids get crazy powerful because of the fast-moving tides that rush through the narrow channel, creating this kind of sinkhole in the water that can suck up just about anything. If you get too close, you're asking for trouble. The whirlpools that form here can mess up even experienced boaters, strong enough to pull smaller boats off course or flip them. People underestimate how intense these waters can be, and that's where mistakes happen. It's one of those spots where staying far away is probably your safest bet, but these guys didn't get that memo and almost got taken in by one. These two vessels were making their way through the busy Straits of Singapore, a typical route for them on a day-to-day basis. But that sometimes means you get a little too comfortable with your route. At first sight, this looks like you're watching a video of someone with really bad road rage. But these aren't cars. These are massive ships, but they're not acting like it. Footage from a nearby ship shows the smaller vessel veering off to the left, cutting across the path of the much larger Bex Halil, a bulk carrier weighing 57,000 tons. The larger ship had no chance to stop or change course and hit the smaller ship on its side. The Singapore Strait is one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, so you have to be super careful in these waters anyway. Yet the captain of the smaller vessel made a mistake and caused one of the worst collisions the area had ever seen.
Se lo va a llevar, Miguel, se lo va a llevar, se lo va a llevar. Oh, la madre. Oh, su madre.
The Singapore Coast Guard was called in to rescue the crew after the smaller ship started sinking. Luckily, no one was hurt. On October 2, 2020, near Tanjung Bruas Port, Malaysia, something totally unexpected happened. A sand carrier, MV Ocean Line, started its journey from Kota Laksamana land and was about to get to a sand extraction location at the Malacca port limit. But something strange happened before it got there. Suddenly, it was making its way through the waters very suspiciously. It was way too close to the oil tanker MT Strovolos, but at first it looked like it was going to get close and then stop at the right second. Experienced captains can easily do this, but that's not what ended up happening here. It came right for it and crashed into it, and it didn't look like an accident.
Whoa! Whoa! Buta!
The tanker was anchored about 2.4 nautical miles from the port when the sand carrier slammed into its side. To make things even worse, there were 4 divers working on the tanker's hull when it happened. Luckily, no one got hurt, and there wasn't any oil spilled, but both ships ended up with some damage. Some think that the captain did this whole thing on purpose, while others believe it's because this particular port is famous for always being super congested. But so far, no one really knows the truth. But what do you think? Accident or just pure rage? Enjoyed the video? Hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Amazing Blaze and turn on notifications so you never miss a thing. Can't wait? Check out one of the videos on screen right now.